Again, I appreciate you coming to Fresno and holding this listening session here. A lot of people ask me why Fresno, the most productive agriculture area, arguably in the world. And we've got some major, not only infrastructure challenges, but I think some real opportunities. And so with that, I also want to thank everybody that came today. It is our opportunity to listen to you, to find out how we can do it better, how we can correct the mistakes of the past, and how we can improve our corridor here, getting our agriculture products to market. We've got you know, a huge number of trucks that travel up and down 99, and we need to make sure that as we expand the right way and the most cost-effective way. We want to get people back to work. We want to create jobs as we do it, and we want to get the biggest bang for our buck. So we want to make sure that we're investing in asphalt and not in the bureaucracy or the red tape. So we're asking you to help us with that, help us to figure out how we can do it better. You know, I'm excited to see so many people willing to come out and do that. Also, before I turn the microphone over, I want to thank the chairman of the Rail Committee, Bill Schuster. I know today is not about high-speed rail, but that certainly is a hot topic here in our local community. And I've got his reassurance that as we go forward, that we'll have greater oversight in addressing all of the numbers and certainly coming back to address the high-speed rail in California. Thank you.
Let me now yield to the gentlelady from California, Ms. Richardson. Recognized.
Thank you, Chairman Mike. Good morning to all of you. First of all, I want to thank Chairman Mike publicly. You know, all of us, we watch television, some of us more than others of the 24-hour cable shows, but when people talk about government and it not being involved and people not listening, for this chairman to only be a chairman of about a month or so, to come up with this creative idea to do a listening tour. And we're not here to talk to you, we're here to listen to you. And for him to show that kind of leadership and to do it across the country is just simply amazing. And I feel very fortunate to be on the committee. So first of all, I want to give you a round of applause. Also, I'd like to thank our two subcommittee chairs, Mr. Schuster and Mr. Denham. I've known Mr. Denham. I served on the California State Assembly for all of about 6 months, and we worked together there, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for him and look forward to working with him. Finally, my last couple of points I just want to share with you is I came here because I'm familiar with Fresno. I played basketball back in the day, and I remember coming to Fresno, you would come into the gym and everyone would come out, the whole town, and you'd line up, you know, the whole court. It was pretty intimidating for a girl coming all the way from Los Angeles. But what it taught me about Fresno is that you're a community that sticks together, you pay attention to the issues, and you want to make sure that you're being properly represented. And so I have nothing but respect for all of you, and that's why I'm here. Finally, I want to say that I have driven down many times from Sacramento, going through the 99 to go skiing, and I'm concerned when I see some of the signs about the water conditions and how better ways that we can help. And so I'm here to listen, to be supportive, and you can count me on the team with Mr. Denham to do everything that we can to help you. Thank you very much.
Thank the gentlelady, and recognize now the chair of the Rail Subcommittee, the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to all of you here today. This is the chairman's 7th city with 4 to go. This has been a eye-opening experience. We've learned a lot, and as the chairman said, he's going to press you for solutions. We're not here to debate the big projects in California, but we're here to figure out how to move a bill forward that's going to help you fund those projects, as Mr. Denham said, without as much red tape, and you can do more with less, is what we're after here today. I appreciate the fact that Mr. Denham brought us out here. He's very persistent, which in Washington is an attribute you need. But to Mr. Chairman, I got to tell you, I'm going to have to live that comment down that I'm Jeff Denham. But he's never going to let me forget that. But it did take me 4 years to become a subcommittee chairman. It only took him 4 weeks. So I guess he's better than I am at getting things done. Our committee has 33 Republicans on it, 13 senior members, and 20 freshmen, as the chairman said. He had to name some freshmen to subcommittee chairmanships, and Jeff was one of them. And as he said, he's done a great job. He's going to have a huge impact. Freshmen typically don't have a big impact on a committee because they're outnumbered, for one. But because we have so many, and because he's in a leadership position on the committee, he's going to have a huge impact on all the legislation that we pass, not just what he oversees. Because the chairman includes us in all that as his leadership team on the committee. As I said, we're not here to debate issues. We're looking at things. We're going to have a rail provision, a rail title in the highway bill, and look at things like, for those of you in the railroad industry, the RIF program. It's $35 billion. How do we get that money out there? It's a program set up by the government. It doesn't cost taxpayers dollars, and it's something that can help short lines, and we want to make sure that we get it out there to the major class ones to use it, and passenger rail to use it, making sure we get those dollars out there so we can build rail capacity in this country. And as Mr. Denham said, again, once his persistent nature, we're going to hold hearings on high-speed rail, whether it is a good thing across the country or in the Northeast Quarter in California. We need to make sure we're holding hearings, having oversight, and having accountability to make sure we're spending those precious dollars that we have in the right place that are going to have a significant impact on this nation. So again, it's great to be here. I look forward to hearing from all of you, and the new Jeff Denham passes it back to the chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Schuster. Now, let me say this. We do have, I know, at least one elected official, because he's on the panel, Mayor Ridenhour. Are there any other elected officials who come out today, state or local? Would you stand and recognize yourself? No commercials, just one at a time, and shout it out so people can know that you came and you're here. You're first.
Joshua Mitchell, Mayor of Sanger.
Okay.
David Rogers, Board of Supervisors, Madera County.
Max Rodriguez, Madera County Board of Supervisors, District 4.
Ruby Daiva, Mayor City of San Joaquin, and the current chair for Fresno County.
Thank you for coming, ma'am.
Second Thomas, Mayor, City of Huron.
Thank you.
Kevin Placencia, Mayor for Tem, City of Huron.
Bill Frick, Mayor of City of Merced.
We got one behind the column here. Was he recognized? Okay. All right. And we got two up here.
Susan Anderson, Fresno County Board of Supervisors.
Bill Larson, Fresno County Board of Supervisors.
Well, I do thank, let's give them a hand. Thank you for coming. Lady from California was generous in her comments, and I'll just tell you, I'm being paid to be here by the taxpayers quite handsomely. So, but the rest of you, thank you for coming, and we look forward to. And if we get to a period of commentary, we'll call on you too. Again, it's impossible to have everyone sitting up here. We have a few folks represented, and we're going to start with I'd like to start with the elected officials, and I'll start with the Mayor Ridenhour. He is the Mayor of Modesto. Now, the other thing, panelists, if you have written remarks, and you're going to sit there and read written remarks,
Don't do it.
We have law enforcement officials and staff who will be coming to take those away from you. Now, we'll be glad you can submit those remarks to the committee. What we want are succinct suggestions. Think now in your mind, Mayor, you're going to be the first of these that have to come up with this, but since I'm sure you're very adept at these kind of situations, but we have to go back and craft a law for the land relating to how we do transportation projects. So we're looking for your suggestions and a summary of them. That'll allow us time for discussion and exchange, all right? So, Mayor, given those parameters, you're willing to go forward? You're recognized, sir.
Okay. I'll take it on. Good morning. I'm Mayor Ridenhour from Modesto, and I want to thank Congressman Denham and Micah for having this meeting today. I think it's very important to listen to what people have to say. I think one of the biggest things over the 8 years I've been here and been going back and forth is we need to have the transportation bill that will really work for everyone. And I think some of the issues I have is regulations. Some of the regulations that come out of these bills are to me, are ridiculous. They get to a point where people just give up and they don't try. The second thing is, I think about NEPA. NEPA is very important, but it's gotta be cost effective. It's cost so much money for us to do a NEPA and a CEQA and all the different things we have to do for federal funding. That's another thing that I think needs to be done. Also, I think as Congressman Denham said, this is the valley. And the valley is about 1/3 of all the agriculture for the United States. We provide that. And we need roads that can haul the trucks. We need rail. We need all the different types of transportation. And I think that's all gotta be part of when something comes out that we can bid on or ask for funding. And it's been a lot of years, like you said, they've extended this transportation bill many times over. And I'm really looking forward to what Congressman Micah said, is the idea we need a long-term, we need a way to be able to plan and do good planning. And when we apply for these things, we apply for roads, we apply for different things. But I'm gonna say something that a lot of you may not like. I think part of the problems is our own. I don't think we get together enough and make up our minds what we really need and stick to it. I've been back to Washington numerous times, and we'll all go back with one voice, we might say, and we end up with 7 or 8 different things. I think if we go back to Congress and we say, this is what we need, and that's what we stick for. We start looking at what is the most important thing for our counties, for our state. And since agriculture is such a big thing, we need roads, we need rail. And for one, I am for the high-speed rail also. But I just think that that's the most important thing we need to get across. It's in these bills. Is regulations has got to be reduced. NEPA is something very important, but it's got to be cost effective. It can't just blow the whole system out and use it for engineering and all the different things you have to do. Thank you.
Thank the gentleman. Let me recognize Omar Benjamin, Executive Director of the Port of Oakland, next.
Yes, good morning, and thank you, Chairman Micah, also Honorable Mr. Denham, Mr. Schuster, and Ms. Richardson. I'm Omar Benjamin. I'm the Executive Director of the Port of Oakland, and I'm also the President of the California Association of Ports Authorities. I'm also here on behalf of the California ports and the West Coast container ports. And we are the gateway for the Central Valley, moving goods, agricultural goods, in and out of the valley. As just a little background on the Port of Oakland, we're the 5th busiest port in the United States. California is home to 3 of the busiest ports in the United States. We're responsible for moving approximately 50% of the goods in and out of our country. Effective and competitive ports are essential for the security and the economy and the environment for our ports. What we suggest you consider as you craft the bill are several things. First, we need a national goods movement strategy that supports the nation's strategic ports and gateways. Number 2, that we continue to support public-private partnerships that has the federal government as one of our partners. You may be familiar with the Trade Corridor Improvement Program Fund for California, where the state has crafted a program where the public sector, working in partnership with the private sector, compete and go forward with infrastructure projects that support the economy and improve the environment, and have a matching investment on behalf of the private sector to support our government's investment. And I would also suggest that we, as was mentioned by the mayor, that we streamline our environmental and entitlement approval processes. In effect, we're best served by having one-stop shop to minimize the confusion and the conflicts that arise. We see it in California, conflicts between NEPA and CEQA. And so any efficiency that can be derived from looking at our network and web of regulations will drive investment, create the certainty, and improve our infrastructure.